My wife cheated on me, and I was ready to divorce her. Then my daughter said something that completely shattered me. Now, I'm seriously questioning whether walking away is the right decision. Hello, Reddit I, plus here. I honestly don't know if I'm thinking clearly anymore, so I'm posting here because I need outside opinions from people who have no emotional attachment to this mess. I'm a 49-year-old man. My wife is 47. We've been married for 22 years and together for almost 25. We have 4 children. Our oldest daughter is 26, then our 2 sons who are 24 and 22, and our youngest daughter is 20. 3 months ago, my entire life fell apart. I found out my wife had been carrying on a secret relationship with someone she dated before she met me. It wasn't some drunken mistake or a one-night stand. It lasted nearly 3 years. 3 years. While I was working overtime to pay for our children's education, taking care of home repairs, planning vacations, celebrating anniversaries, and believing we had a happy marriage, she was meeting another man in hotels, lying about girls' weekends, fake work events, and visits to relatives. I only discovered everything because she accidentally left an old tablet logged into one of her email accounts. At first I thought it was spam. Then I opened one message, then another. There were hundreds. Pictures, videos, love letters, plans about running away together once our youngest finished college. Messages where she called him her soulmate. The one that hurt the most was where she wrote, "If I had been brave enough years ago, I would have married you instead." I sat there staring at that sentence for almost an hour. 22 years of marriage suddenly felt fake. I confronted her that night. She didn't even deny it. She cried immediately, admitted everything, and kept repeating that she loved me and that the affair was a terrible mistake. I asked one question. If he had asked you to leave me 2 years ago, would you have gone? She couldn't answer. That silence told me everything. The next morning, I contacted a lawyer. Here's where things become complicated. When we got married, her parents owned several businesses and had a significant amount of wealth. They insisted we sign a prenuptial agreement to protect family assets. I didn't argue because I loved her and wasn't marrying for money. Ironically, over the next 20 years, their businesses collapsed after several failed investments and expensive lawsuits. The fortune disappeared. Meanwhile, I built my career from the ground up. My wife stayed home for almost 17 years raising our children. Once our youngest became independent, she only worked part-time and never rebuilt a full career. Because of the prenup, she isn't entitled to spousal support. The only major asset we jointly own is our house, which is completely paid off. Selling it would leave each of us with some money, but nowhere near enough for her to buy another home in today's market. She'd likely end up renting a tiny apartment or moving in with relatives. To be completely honest, I didn't care. She chose another man over me every single day for nearly 3 years. Why should I finance the rest of her life after that? My lawyer advised me to keep all communication through attorneys, so that's exactly what I've done. Unfortunately, my wife found another way to reach me, our children. She begged every one of them to convince me to stop the divorce and attend marriage counseling instead. My sons surprised me. Both said they loved their mother but understood why I was leaving. One even said, "Dad, if my future wife did this to me, I'd walk too." Our youngest daughter cried, but admitted she couldn't defend what her mother had done. Then there was my oldest daughter. She has always been extremely close to her mother. At first she kept saying people make mistakes. Then she said marriages deserve second chances. Then she said I owed it to the family to fight for us. I calmly explained that her mother stopped fighting for our marriage years ago. Every conversation ended with her crying. Last weekend she came to my house. She looked exhausted. Her eyes were swollen from crying. She asked if we could talk one last time before the divorce hearing. I agreed. She sat at my kitchen table for almost 10 minutes without saying anything. Finally, she whispered, "Dad, Mom told me something." I asked what. She burst into tears. Apparently, my wife has been telling her that if I divorce her, she doesn't want to live anymore. According to my daughter, she's been taking more sleeping pills than prescribed. She's supposedly written goodbye letters. She keeps saying everyone would be better off if she disappeared because she destroyed the family. Then my daughter grabbed my hands and started begging. She said, "If Mom dies because you leave, I'll never forgive you." I just stared at her. She continued, "I know she cheated. I know what she did was horrible. But if you leave and she kills herself, I'll always believe you could have stopped it." I asked whether she'd told anyone else. She said yes. My wife apparently confessed the same thing to all 4 children, but my oldest is the only one who truly believes she's serious. Then came the sentence that absolutely crushed me. My daughter looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Mom told me she'd let you sleep with whoever you wanted for the rest of your life if you just stay married to her." I actually laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was so unbelievably pathetic. Imagine reducing a 22-year marriage to some bizarre open relationship after years of lies. I told my daughter, that wasn't a marriage, that's hostage negotiation. She kept crying. Then she gave me an ultimatum. If mom dies, I'm done with you. She said she'd cut me out of her life forever. She believes my other 3 children would eventually follow her lead. She said my future grandchildren would never know me. Then she left. I haven't slept properly since. Part of me knows exactly what my wife is doing. Whether she's genuinely suicidal or not, she's putting our children in the middle because she knows they are my biggest weakness. Instead of accepting responsibility for what she chose to do, she's making our children responsible for keeping our family together. That feels unbelievably cruel. At the same time, what if she's serious? I've known this woman for over 2 decades. Despite everything, I don't actually want her to die. I just don't want to be married to someone who betrayed me for years. I feel trapped. If I continue with the divorce, I risk losing my oldest daughter forever and possibly carrying guilt for the rest of my life if my wife follows through. If I stay, I'll spend the rest of my life sleeping beside someone whose messages to another man I can never erase from my memory. Every time I look at her, I'll remember the lies, the secret hotel rooms, the fake smiles, the plans she made for a future that didn't include me. I don't know how anyone comes back from that. My lawyer says the threats shouldn't change anything legally. A close friend says I should immediately tell my wife's siblings and doctor what my daughter told me so they can make sure she's safe. Part of me agrees. Another part worries she's only saying these things to manipulate me into staying. Either way, our children shouldn't be carrying this burden. So now I'm asking strangers, am I heartless for continuing with the divorce? Should I pause everything and try counseling because of what my daughter told me? Or is this exactly the kind of emotional manipulation that proves ending the marriage is the only healthy choice?